No, let me look for my pitch. Friday. Thank God it's Friday, 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 Friday. I am super excited that it's this TGIF for reason best known to me. Okay, let me tell you one of the reasons. It's because I wouldn't have to wake up as early as 4 a.m. or 5:30. I wouldn't have the pressure of having to look at my phone and like, oh my God, this is time for me to wake up again and it's work time. Okay, the fact that I have enough time to sleep, you know, and rest after the whole week activity, and then you now have a one-bed party to go for, maybe visiting and all of that. It is always exciting hanging out with family and friends. So today, yes, I know a lot of you be wondering that what's with the heart now. Today I said let me look kinky for my viewers today. So as usual, we always, you know, look good and make sure that we bring to you the best of the headlines that you need to know around the globe. So today I am your host Modo Dominic, and we will be taking the headlines for today. So with me is
ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Yes, so it is 1st of September 2022.
Hey, happy new month.
Happy new month to everybody.
Engineer, happy
it is good to be alive. It's good to be alive.
Honestly.
Yes.
Thank God for his faithfulness.
Thank God.
Yes, Engineer.
Well, good morning to you all viewers at home.
Good morning.
We thank God today is Friday. Happy weekend.
Happy weekend, though.
Engineer is talking like a prophet this morning.
No. Today that's the leading today. All right, thank you so much for joining us on CSA TV, and we'll be looking at the headlines that we have today. So quickly, let's take the quote for the day.
Okay, so the quote for today is taken from the book of Psalms. Our quote for today is an encouragement for us all today, that whatever we are doing, we should put it in the hands of God. The Bible says, except God builds the house, the builder buildeth in vain. Except the Lord watches the city, those who watch in vain. Every of your plan, whatever you want to do, whatever, no matter how small it is, God wants to be involved in everything you do. So whatever you want to do in every aspect of life, put everything in the hands of God. Pray unto God and say, Lord, let this plan work out, and you will see the miracle of God in your life. Thank you very much. TGIF, happy weekend to you all, and happy new month.
All right, thank you so much for that quote. Anything you do, in all that you do, commit it into the hands of God. It's a brand new month, yes. So before you start up your month, before you start up your day, make sure that you tell the Lord all that you need to do and all that you want him to do, and watch him work wonders in your life, in your ministry, in your business, and in all that you do. So on this note, we'll go on a quick break, and when we come back, we'll take a look at the stories making the headlines. Stay tuned. Hey, welcome back from that quick break. So let's look at the stories making headlines around the globe. So quite a quick one will begin with the Punch newspaper, and the first story on the list says fear of coups. AU suspends Gabon as Cameroon. Rwanda retired generals, 1,000 soldiers. The story says AU says suspension is in force until democracy is restored. Niger humanitarian crisis looms. Niger junta order forceful eviction of French ambassador, cancel envoys and family visas. The African Union's Peace and Security Council on Thursday suspend Gabon following the Wednesday overthrow of President Ondimba Ali Bongo by soldiers led by the head of Republican Guard, General Brice Gouma. The continental body, in a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, commanded the military takeover of power in the Central African country. This came as Rwanda and Cameroon hurriedly retire 1,129 senior officers in a surprise move against their respective militaries. So this is a story that we have on the Punch newspaper, the first story. So let me begin with you, Engineer Ola.
Well, what I have to say is that there is no fire without smoke.
Or maybe you wanted to say there's fire on the mountain.
Yes, let us say there's fire on the mountain.
Hey!
What
I saw the story this morning, I was like, oh
what
my
I'm
God.
seeing in Africa now is beyond ISO. I don't know how to put it, because hey, only you could don't any.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Sir.
This is a premonition of bad sign in Africa. One thing I have to say is this: let's be sincere to ourselves. All this thing is coming up because of corruption in Africa.
Exactly.
There is no sincerity again in Africa. You know, times have passed. We are now in a modern era. When people are thinking to move forward, we are moving backward. What is the duty of these security guards? What are their duties? You know, it was founded in France, and their duty was to look after the monarch and the headquarters of the country, which is Paris for France. But now in Africa, it's not so. They are supposed to protect the country. They are now fighting against the authority of that country. Well, it's very, very disheartening, because even Mr. Bongo now, that was ousted in Gabon, will see a fruitful president. Was he honest?
That's the question for the masses,
his
not to be in support of him.
And his house was raided, and they found thousands of dollars in their house, millions of money, of, let's say, their own local currency.
Yes, their local currency, dollars and pounds.
What are we going to say about this? That is going to be a food of thought for the African leaders. We have to be honest to ourselves. You are not honest with the country.
Yes.
Otherwise, this wouldn't have come up at all. Gabon is a peace-loving country, but people are suffering. They have enough crude oil to survive the nation. What is their population? But this guy, and again, I watched a video recently on the internet that this guy was, you know, maybe the president of France came to him, or he went to France. You know, look at the way he's working. The guy just recovered from stroke. You have to delegate power. Okay, because you know you are sick. Okay, this election, everybody in Gabon is saying the election was rigged. But one thing is that because soldiers cannot perform better. So when we say corruption in Africa, everybody in Africa who is a ruler in any capacity, militarily or civilian, is corrupt. We have to work on this corruption in Africa.
Yes.
We have to be faithful to ourselves. In a society whereby a poor person dies because of hunger, that the head of that society must be queried.
Yes.
So I think it's a food for thought for the African leaders that, hey, what you are doing today may boomerang. Have to be honest on whatever you are doing. That's my take on that.
Thank you so much. Basically, we have to start with fighting and tackling this thing called, corruption.
Corruption in Africa that if one agenda, just only one agenda in Africa, if we can create a crusade, do a revival, I don't know, like the Christians will do, let's do a crusade, let's do a revival and target, say no to corruption. If only we can get rid of corruption in the whole of Africa, I am telling you, the sky is the starting point. Corruption has eaten deep into our system. Now, see, this coup here and there, I think it's becoming a trend, like TikTok and this thing now. You know, it's becoming a trend here and there. Each country, one country or the other, is finding themselves planning coup. And I heard though, it's a rumor. It's not for a fact, but it's a rumor that the military of those places where coup are started are hinting or sending signal to the Nigerian military that, hello, I think you guys will come and join the bandwagon now. So everybody is on their toes now. Every president is on their toes now. Let me point out 2 or 3 points now. One, some of the president now, things are coming up. People are reshuffling their military cabinets. Is this the time to do that? This is medicine after death. Now you will see that the army now will be getting some preferential treatment in courts, so that they will not them. But before them, what have they been doing? What have you been doing? How have you been treating? Now we are talking about police brutality. If army should join the brutality, do you know what will happen? Now we're talking about police brutality, but we are seeing that police is not our friend. Police is bad. This is on blah 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 blah. What is the working condition of the police? What does the police get as a take-home? How is the family of the police faring?
How are they treated?
It is what you garbage in is garbage out. Whatever you have is what you will produce. You can't give what you don't have. If you don't have love, you can't give love.
Honestly.
If you don't have peace, you can't share peace. That is it. Our leaders needs to do what they need to do in being accountable for all their actions. Say no to corruption. I'll end on that. Say no to corruption.
Say no to corruption. We are saying say no to corruption at the local level, at the international level, at every level that you find yourself. Make sure you try as much as possible to ignore it. I know it can be very tempting. This thing called corruption can be very, very tempting. But as much as possible, let's pray that God help us overcome this, in quotes, called corruption. So quickly, let's take a look at the second story. And this says AGF CBN, the Accountant General of the Federation, Dr. Oluwatoyin Median, and the acting governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Mr. Folashodun Shonubi, must next Thursday appear in person before the panel. Chairman of the AD Committee, Musa Bagos, who disclosed this on a Thursday sitting at the meeting, frowned at the attitude of CEOs who would always give excuses that they have traveled out of the country whenever they were invited to appear before the Parliament. Okay, that's the second story that we have on the Punch newspaper. So, Engineer Ola, what's your view on this?
Now, you see, this policy that was initiated by the federal government is a very good one. But what I see is that, like as usual, there are some individuals that they believe if I'm being appointed to serve in this government, I want to have my share of the national cake. And that is exactly what they are doing. Now, this policy is to enable Nigerians to own different houses, affordable houses. That is the objective of this policy. And then, according to the policy, every policy must have a legal binding, so that if there is any defaulter, there may be a litigation. Maybe you have to appear in court. Now, banks and insurance companies are involved. Their involvement is that every bank, every commercial and merchant bank in Nigeria, you have to allocate 20% of your loan. That is, if you are giving out loan and people are paying back the loan to you, 20% of that amount goes to this scheme, which you have to remit to this project. The same thing with insurance company. If you want to insure the life of people, You understand now? Life insurance and non-life insurance attract certain percentage that you have to put again in this project. But our bankers are not doing this. The insurance CEO are not doing this.
Yes.
That is why the House of Assembly is now beckoning on them. Come, we want to know more about these details. Where is this money? And have you not been paying this money? Or you have been paying the money and the money does not go to
remitted.
Yes, it's not been remitted. We want to know. Now everybody is saying, "Oh, I'm in London on assignment. I'm in America."
They are always traveling and giving excuses.
There is no way.
They are buying time. They are buying time, using that to buy time.
Yeah, maybe using.
OJ means lie.
Yes.
Iran is Iran. They are not faithful at all because they are putting this money in their pocket. If they want to prove us wrong that what we are saying is wrong,
let them come out and defend
let
it.
them appear and defend themselves.
Exactly.
All the MDs of banks that are involved, all the CEO of insurance companies, let them face the House of Assembly. And they don't come, they just know what is best to be done.
Exactly, to support you, to support engineer. See, if you don't have a cockroach in your cupboard, if you don't have something to hide, you should be able to face the crowd.
Anytime.
Even when there is an invitation for the court of from the court of law, from the police. If you don't have anything incriminating, if your hands are clean, you should be able to present yourself. I will give a very good example. The case of the Ogun State Governor Abiodun, Governor Dapo Abiodun, and the Ijebu local government chairman is still being now the chairman is suspended, and yet is still standing by his
word.
After being suspended for pointing out that the governor is diverting fund, he has been alleged. He has been labeled for some allegations right now. I don't know, like Yoruba so we are now using things to cover each other so that we can put logs of woods, and I don't know. Accountability. We need it in this country.
And you know this thing called lie. The moment you start lying, you always look for something to cover, and it keeps piling up like that. So why
all of them who are with someone now, they are now singing the video song. I'm on available. I'm on available. You know.
I want to correct something. From the commercial bank and the merchant bank.
Yes.
They have to remit 10% of their loan, not 20%.
Okay, not 20%.
Yes,
it's 10% of their loan
to this project.
Oh, okay.
So not even 10% though. Not even remitting on loan alone. I think they should be remitting to we customers that are banking with them. No, we'll talk about that. We'll talk about that. That one is another story for another day.
Nigeria has role to play in Nigerian economy.
Yes.
That depends on the government. In other countries, they tell them you have to, in your vicinity,
yes,
you have to build stadium and other sport facilities for the inhabitants of that particular area. Yes. So every bank in the world has roles they play in their own community. But I don't know of Nigerian banks.
I think some Nigerian banks before they do CSR. Some
yes, but for a while now we've not
project from any bank now. I'm yet to see any CSR project from any bank.
Well, and it still boils down to the fact that whatever they do, because oftentimes I see that when they do, when they do all of that, they end up not accounting for what they do, and then it still goes around within themselves. It doesn't reach out to the masses that they are doing this exact thing for. So lastly, let's look at the last story on the Punch newspaper, and this says oil theft. Navy arrest Tombolo's men, firm kicks. The Nigerian Navy on Tuesday allegedly aborted an attempted oil theft at Lekki waters and arrested 4 men identified as men of Tantita Security Service, owned by a Niger Delta ex-militant leader, Governor Ekpomobolo, popularly known as Tombolo. They were arrested by men of the Nigerian Navy stationed at FOP Lekki, which is FOP, at Waterway near the Itolu community. Lekki, after the residents of the area raised an alarm following gunshot from the waterside. While parading the suspect on Wednesday, the commander of NNS Beecroft, Commando Kolawole Oguntuga said that they were arrested while they were attacking a local from whom they tried stealing a boat engine. So this is the part where I also congratulate our Navy, because they are doing a whole lot of work. It shows that they are working.
I think this point in time, like 2 arrests now.
Exactly.
This week.
In the space of
in the space
1
of
month.
Yes, in the space of just this week. I think this
yes.
week. Yes, one
on Monday.
And another one today again. Okay, so we must give kudos to who kudos is worthy of. Okay,
of course. When they do the right thing, we praise them.
You know, they are doing well, so we need to encourage them to do more. Okay, but it's just that they need. I think they need more support. Navy alone cannot do this job. We also need other parastatals, other security channels. Okay, to work hand in hand. Even communities, because some community might just see some some anomalies going on, and they will just keep quiet, maybe because they are benefiting from it. Okay, so we need a corporate duty to tackle this oil theft and oil and the bunkering. Okay, so kudos to the Navy for your job well done. I would say they should do more. We are solidly behind them.
We are applauding them from behind, not in front of them.
I did found that in a way that first I have to say a very big job well done to the Nigerian Navy for the quick response and intervention. And at the same time, I want to be sure of these people. I did see pirates or oil theft people, because the difference between the two.
Yes.
According to the story here, they said the people in the neighborhood, they cried, and Navy came into the scene.
Yes, after
and they found that these 4 men were trying to, take away engine boat from these people. Engine boat is different from
boat.
From oil from stealing of oil.
Yes.
Okay.
There are 2 different things.
Stories.
Maybe they want to use it to go and
to fly
steal
off.
the oil.
They want to go and steal the oil, or they are stealing the oil.
Okay.
So, and another thing is that if you don't forget that this security outfit, this Tompolo security outfit, we learned some months or weeks ago that they discovered they arrested some oil theft, and they handed over to the Nigerian Navy, and there was a big question mark that these people that were arrested, what really happened to the boat? Eventually, that boat was burnt.
Whoa.
We do not see any investigation on that particular matter. I want to be clear on this issue, that these people, are they real oil? Are they going out to steal oil, or they are sea pirates? Disturbing merchant ships on the sea. There must be a very good clarification on this particular matter, because 30-tier outfits, their security approved by the federal government to track down the oil theft in Nigeria. But now the Nigerian Navy now saying these 4 boys, they are wearing their Tompolo
impersonating them.
Are they wearing camouflage, or are they real staff of Tompolo? I think Tompolo himself have to come out and explain the situation to Nigerians, for Nigerians to be able to clarify that if somebody is doing a security work for Nigerian government, and people are saying, hey, you are really doing your job, and this is another conflict, are these people your boys or whatever? I do not think this case must die down like this.
Yes.
They have to go look into the matter and find out who are these real culprits. Are they ordinary people? Do they belong to another gang, or are they working with Tompolo?
Questions need to be answered. Questions that need a whole lot of answers woven around this particular story that we just read. So quickly, we'll go on a break, and when we come back, we'll look at further stories from the Vanguard and the Nations. Please stay tuned.
important. It will be easy for the government agency to properly do what we call the contact tracing. It's preparation by the pupils and students themselves, because all of us need to prepare and we need to be on the same page to make sure that we are ready to go back to school. This particular program is actually meant to provide mass education opportunity for us.
Thank you so much for staying tuned, and welcome back from that quick break. So always feel free to join us on Cactv and drop your comments or suggestions, contributions. We'll always be delighted and glad to read and hear from you. It is always a joy to see you comment and also engage our page. So quickly, we'll look at the next story that we have taken this from the Punch, from the Nation newspaper. And the story that we have from the Nation newspaper is: police arrest man for allegedly defiling 6-year-old daughter in Akwa Ibom. Uyo operatives of Quick Intervention Unit, Akwa Ibom State Police Command, have arrested one Sunday Ben of aka Itam Etoi village in Uyo local government area of the state for allegedly defiling his 6-year-old daughter. The state police public relationship officer, Mr. Odiko McDon, in a statement on Wednesday, also said the police command, following a report, also apprehended one Bright Umoke, 29, residing in Eket's local government area of the state for allegedly defiling a 10-year-old girl of same resident. According to the statement, Moko, who confessed at the crime, stated that he had earlier sent the junior brother to go and buy a recharge card before taking the victim to his room and covered her mouth to prevent her from raising alarm. This is really so sad that we are having to have a father do this to our own child. So if a father could do this to our own child, how much more other people's children? What kind of heart do they have? Like I'm always still wondering, how do you even have erection in doing stuffs like that? It baffles me, and this is where I feel that the fear of God is no longer in because if the fear of God is in you, there are some certain things you won't do. The Holy Spirit will definitely quicken you, bring you back to your normal sense that this is something that you're not supposed to do. This thing is not right. So why do we have cases like this? And it shows that in the same residence, another 10-year-old was defiled of the same, the same incident also happened. So is it like they planned this thing among themselves, or is it like a trend that is going on around that axis? A lot of things, a lot of people around there, this needs to be investigated, and they need to look at this matter thoroughly. So let me hear from you, White.
I think also we need sensitization, a public sensitization. We need to do more on sensitizing people and telling them the error and the horrific experience, the aftermath of this particular act on
the
children,
child,
on a child, what it will cause. So it's a stigma already. There are things we do in Africa that when you do it and people know it is a stigma, so you don't want to do such. You dare not touch such things. Do you understand? So if there are heavy sanctions on anyone who defiles a child, anyone who goes into this kind of illicit behavior, I think it will reduce. I know it cannot totally cut it off. It may not totally cut it off, but it will reduce it to the minimum because it's getting too much. The ones that we are hearing on the news now are the ones that we are hearing. What of the ones that we did not hear?
That has been covered up.
That has been covered up and is happening in secret. In my area, I know of someone who defiled his child until the child got pregnant. for him. It became a scandal,
So
and the
alarming.
man is in prison as I'm talking to you now. He's in prison serving his term. You understand? So it's we need to give heavy sanctions on this. It will curb the perpetrators. That's my take for it this morning.
Engineer Ola.
Well, they used to say a proverb in the era of Shakespeare. They will say fear is foul. Foul is fear. The good and the bad are confused. Rest an evil effect. When there is confusion in the land, rape case is not new. Even in the ancient time in the Bible, it is there. The government has been putting lots of effort on the law on rape. I think they have to continue. It's very shameful that a father will rape his own daughter. Very, very shameful and very, very offensive. Rape is like murder. Yes, rape is like murder. Because look at the consequential. What is going to be the consequential effect in the society? That this lady has been raped by her own father. How would she be able to face society?
The child grows up with a stigma.
It's very, very bad. So the government has to tighten the belt of the law on rape.
All right, so lastly, let's look at the last story that we have before we go to the world of sport. So the last story says reforms will buoy economy. President reassures. President Bola Tinubu has again assured Nigerians that the ongoing reforms by his administration would liberate and reposition the nation's economy. He said the result will be immense benefit to the majority of the population in terms of opportunities, infrastructures, healthcare, education, and so many others. Nigerian is headed for a promise, said Mr. President. Our diversity will turn into prosperity. I think I need to say amen to that. Not adversity. Okay, it would turn into prosperity and not adversity. That's sounding like one of the motivational quotes from one of our pastors. Okay, we will build a country that our children will be proud of. The president, when he received a Nigerian Supreme Council of Islamic Affairs, NSCIA, led by the Sultan of Sokoto, Mohammed Said Abubakar, 111. So that's the last story that we have from the nation's newspaper. So, Engineer Ola, it's so good that our president is actually giving us hope. Like I said before, this hope that is giving us is really encouraging. But more to it is that we expect that there should be a lot of actions also backing up these words, and it's not just by words. It's always good to have it written and then well said, said in a way that people would be so happy and like, okay, giving us hope. But away from that, we want actions backing it up. Engineer Ola.
Well, we always expect a prophet to give us message of hope. Our president is giving us message of hope.
No, and he's doing it so well. Trust me. He's doing it so well.
We cannot judge now and say, oh, our president has really tried on the
has spoken
economy.
well.
Well, time will tell. Let us give him time and see what will happen. It's just telling us positively that, okay, I will move Nigeria forward. I'm a very good seller economically, and you will see the changes. Let's wait and see the changes. That's my take on that.
Well, as they say, talk is cheap, action is the cocoa. Let's see what will happen. Let us see if for every average Nigerian that could go to the market to buy food stuff and it is affordable for working class to move up in the money, and transport is affordable for market women to go to market and they make profits, for farmers to go to the farm and they are not disturbed by herdsmen or Boko Haram, for people to go to school and they are not waylaid, they are not kidnapped. For travelers, foreigners to come into the country, let's have all the good side of life. Let's have it. It is not enough for you to say, oh, I'm going to drive this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Please.
Honestly, we deserve to enjoy good life. We really do.
We suffered
no,
enough.
No, we have.
We have suffered enough.
The time has come. Okay, thank you so much for staying. So quickly, we'll go take a look at the stories that we have in the world of sport. Yes, it is going to be a juicy story. I know Arsenal has been doing a whole lot behind the scene.
Like
so, and I don't want White to now come and
doing that is so successful, so that we can apply that elsewhere in the world for other members to be equal as successful as Nigeria. I think that is coming as a good news that Nigeria is doing well in the ICC department, in the ICC world of sport. And also on sport this morning, we also have Arsenal. The Champions League draw is out.
Okay.
Oh my God, the Champions League draw is out, and Arsenal draws Sevilla, PSV Lens in return to UEFA Champions League after much time that Arsenal has been out of the Champions League for not qualifying, but now they are qualified for the Champions League and they are in the draw, and Arsenal has been drawn together with Sevilla, with PSV and with Lens in Group B. And other groups, we have Bayern, Manchester United, Copenhagen, Galatasaray in Group A, and we also have Napoli, Real Madrid, Braga, Union Berlin in Group C. And also in Group D, we have Benfica, Inter Milan, Salzburg, Real Sociedad. And in Group E, we have Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Celtic. And also in Group F, we have Paris Saint-Germain, we have Dortmund, we have Milan, and we also have Newcastle. Newcastle is tend to be in the group of death, as they call it. We just hope that Newcastle will be able to survive that Group F. And also in Group G, the European champions Manchester City in draw with Leipzig, Zvezda and Young Boys. And in Group H, we have Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk and Antwerp. And that's the league, the UEFA Champions League draw as yesterday. So that's it for sport, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you.
Thank you so much for giving us that juicy gist from the world of sports. So thank you so much, viewers, for always staying tuned and always making sure that you make it a date and a time with us. So at this point, we would say thank you so much and make sure you have a wonderful and fantastic weekend. There is nothing like giving yourself the joy that you deserve. Nobody will give you that joy. Nobody will give you that peace. You have to find your peace. And where can you find that peace? You can only find it in Christ. Make sure every moment count. Make sure, I say again, every moment count. So I am your host, Modo Dominic, and signing out is...
Yes, my name is Shegun White. Yes, so you can call me Shegun White, ladies and gentlemen. It's like you are in the spirit this morning. My passing short for this morning is that make yourself happy. Nothing and nobody can make you happy except yourself. Make yourself happy. Happy weekend.
Engineer,
as usual, be nice Nigeria. Be Nigeria.
Bye Nigeria. And that is it from us. It's a wrap. Make sure you have a fantastic and a lovely weekend. Till we come your way, same time, same station next week. Have a blessed weekend.